is well, you're certainly a butthead. Come on. Is it easier to milk a full-size dairy cow or a mini dairy cow? The answer might surprise you. Today I'm going to milk all 3 of our cows who are milking right now. 1 full-size dairy cow and 2 minis. We're gonna try to compare just the basics of milking. So when I'm doing the comparison, I'm mostly just focusing on like the physical aspect of milking, the size of the cow. A really big cow can be kind of intimidating, especially to first-timers. A really small cow could present some challenges working around. Leg reach, another one of those. If it's a big cow who wants to kick you, it's going to be easier for them to reach. The teat size. It doesn't necessarily translate to big cow or little cow. A little cow can have long teats. A big cow can have really short teats. So that's going to depend cow to cow, not mini versus standard. The working space you have under the cow. You've got the udder that hangs down underneath their belly. So if their belly's shorter to the ground, you're gonna have an udder that's closer to the ground, which means it's gonna be harder to fit things under, whether it's a bucket or a milker or your hands into a bucket. Which do you think will be easier to milk? Comment below, and by the end of this video, see if you were right or wrong. First up, we've got Fancy. Fancy is our full-size Guernsey cow. If you've been watching a little bit, you saw we had an even bigger Guernsey cow before her named Massachusetts. Fancy is smaller than Massachusetts, still larger than our first Jersey cow, Ladybug. This is Fancy, our full-size Guernsey cow. On the stand, she is at about 54 inches at the hip. Fancy is nice and calm. I could hand milk her. She's got nice sized teats for that. She's never been hand milked, and I just haven't done it on her. Now, in this comparison, we're comparing 3 well-trained dairy cows right now. I'm feeding everyone while they're on this stanchion. Okay, so I'm gonna turn everything on, and we'll start milking. With Fancy, I do all the work from a standing, just bent over position. Fancy is easy to do the udder cleaning prep. She's easy to strip. She's got lots of clearance under there to put on the milker. So I don't have to be laying down on the ground trying to attach this milker to her. I also don't have to worry about the milker putting it on, it dragging on the floor, and when I take it off, I don't have to worry about it dragging on the floor, which is really nice. So right now our claw's hanging about, from the very bottom, about 11 inches off the ground. To put it on her, I just crouch, I guess you could call it. I have her up on a stanchion, which gives her a couple more inches off the ground. That's nice as well. She actually came from an elevated dairy parlor where they're working in a pit behind them. She's used to being even up higher than people, but for what we need right now, our stanchion's working great for Fancy. You can see the clearance under this milker makes it a lot easier to attach. We're doing our best to compare apples to apples in this video, so it's a well-trained mini Jersey milking on a stanchion with a well-trained Guernsey cow, full-size Guernsey milking on a stanchion. I'm not really going to get into production because generally speaking, a larger dairy cow is going to give you more milk and a smaller one will give you less milk. In our experience, this has been true. Now, there are some mini Jersey cows who produce a ton of milk and some commercial-sized Jersey cows who are going to produce less than that many. Generally, in our case, our mini Jerseys produce less than our full-size Guernsey. I can't do a direct comparison now, though, because they're in different stages of lactation. The Guernsey's being dried off, she gives less. Luna just calved, so she's going to be giving lots more. That will be a video that we make in the future, though. Now, the difference in getting her in and off the stanchion is going to be she needs a bit more room to turn around. We were a little worried about getting a Guernsey and fitting them in this stall that we milk in, but she's done really well. We haven't had to adjust pretty much anything to accommodate her. She's very calm and easy to work with. As far as ease of milking, Fancy gets 2 thumbs up. Now, if I had, and I will have, when she freshens again, the experience of milking a newly fresh, hormonal, larger dairy cow, and maybe I'll let Austin do that for the first couple times, because she will have more reach to kick with those legs. Also, when you're working, that does translate to more poop and more pee when they are upset with you or bored or impatient, a bigger mess to clean up. Next up, we have Honeybee. She is a mini Jersey. This is her first calf. Yeah, this is her first calf. Her first calf's about 7 months old now. She's not the beginning of her lactation, also not the most she's ever going to produce, but she's been really nice to milk. She's taken to the milking very easily. She's been a good producer, nice milk, nice cream line. I love milking Honeybee.
Who wants to go? Come on, Honeybee. Honeybee, coming in.
The difficult part is she's small. Honeybee on the stanchion, it's a size difference. So at the hip here, we're looking at more like 42.
Nice.
Nice. Instead of like lean over T-dip, I'm squatting. This is when I practice my squatting. It's good for you. So I'm much closer to the ground when I'm using a milker, trying to get in there. It's harder to keep it off the ground so it doesn't suck up any debris that's on the stanchion. There we go. Marginally up. Okay, so the trick here is to put the milker on without letting it touch the ground. Success. This one's a bit more physical. She's a lot harder to work under. A lot easier to train though, because even when she tried to kick, those legs don't go very far. The working space under her is more limited. As you can see, the milker, the bottom of it's only about a ½ inch off the floor. If I was just milking her, I would change the setup to elevate her a little more to make it easier for me to get in and under her. But because I'm milking cows of various sizes, this works for now. There's definitely a space, a limited amount of space to work with. Whereas with Fancy, I could use any milker. There's lots of room under there to work. Of course, her kicks, if she would decide to kick versus Fancy kicking, her kicks are going to be a lot easier to deflect. When we were training her, it's just a matter of putting your arm up and kind of pushing her leg back, and she can't get over that to kick you. Out here, I just want to show a difference between the udders of the two minis, Luna and Honeybee. This is Honeybee. Her udder, between these two inflations, I've got like 4-finger width as far as working in and around her udder. Now with Luna, I'll show you the difference. See how high off the ground the milker is? It is maybe maybe a ½ inch. Alright, so I gotta be careful when taking this off of her that nothing touches the ground. Right. is Luna. This is Luna's second calf. Her production is going to go up from the time she had her first calf. Luna, I like to refer to her as my little hippo because she is broad. Mini number 2, cow number 3, Luna. Here I am with Luna, where she stands. She's not fancy height. Let's see what Luna is. She's actually pretty close to Honeybee. Luna's another one, down low. All 3 of the cows are in very different stages of lactation, so that's why their udders may look different. Fancy's getting ready to be dried off. Honeybee is 7 months in. We just pulled her calf off. And Luna still has the calf on her 24/7. So she's going to be looking a little lopsided. She's got a cut on this side, so she's not letting him nurse. The other ones, yeah, he's keeping up with this back one. The 2 front ones could use emptied too. So that's why we're making Luna. And she is wider underneath her belly, and the teats, her front teats, are hard to reach because they're spaced so far apart. She's got the same issue as working under Honeybee. There's not much room to work under there. I gotta be careful that the milker doesn't hit the ground, suck up any hay or debris. Okay. Luna's another one where when she tries to kick, she can't do very much. She's heavy. So if she steps on your foot, it hurts. And she can get a few glancing blows because those legs are short. She can't get too much height on them. It's that tail you gotta watch out for. Ooh, this one's full. But she also was really easy to train to milk because she doesn't have very far leg reach. I'm going to teach my kids to start milking independently of me, and Luna and Honeybee are going to be the ones that I train them to milk. Now the comparison to Honeybee, when I looked between the inflations, Honeybee was about 4 fingers, Luna is like this much width between those front teeth. I know you're done. Which makes it a lot harder to get under there and put this milker on her, because she's so wide in those 2 front teeth. So she is officially my hardest to milk. And it's not because of teat size. All 3 of these cows at this point I could hand milk. Just because a cow is little doesn't mean the teats are going to be too short to hand milk. Just because a cow is big doesn't mean they'll have big long teeth that are good for hand milking. Alright. As far as height off the ground to the bottom of the milker, she's got more like an inch. So she's got like half an inch on Honeybee as far as that goes.
This is actually a pretty good angle here.
Once again, I gotta make sure the milker doesn't touch the ground here. Hold on.
Tell everybody how long it takes you to do all 3.
Probably 30 minutes to do all 3.
Yeah, you're fast.
As long as everyone cooperates, it's pretty fast.
All right. Hot, hot, hot.
Which is my favorite to milk?
Hold on. You want this beautiful ladybug shirt? Click that. Limited supply because of COVID shortages still. She's wearing her ladybug shirt too. Or Luigi, Mario Luigi.
Little tip there. Which is my favorite cow to milk? Which is yours?
I have learned from working with Massachusetts, Fancy, and Grasshopper, and then Luna and Honeybee. I've milked all our cows. I prefer Fancy. She is the calmest, not kicky, easy to work with, and there's so much room. It's like nice and easy.
For me, as far as ease of milking, right? Apples to apples, this is a well-trained milk cow. Who's full size, this is a well-trained milk cow. Who's mini, I prefer milking. My favorite to milk is... Now, I gotta make a caveat here because I'm not saying this is my favorite homestead cow. It doesn't necessarily translate like that, but it does give them a little boost in that direction, I guess.
Just the best cow to do the morning milking with.
The physical milking, yeah. Who is the most comfortable, who I can get under the easiest, be in and out faster milking, is the full-size cow. They're like throwing rocks at me, the mini Jersey cow lovers. Okay, does this mean I will get rid of my mini Jersey milk cows? No. Does this mean I think the Guernsey is the perfect homestead cow? Also no, because this is a very nuanced question and we're definitely going to be discussing this in a video soon.
Now, if you're wondering what's easier to milk, a goat or a cow, watch this video. You also might be surprised by which we think is easier to milk.